So here we are. Today is Sunday, and it's the 6th of October, is it?
6th, yes.
And I have here Angelica from United States, and she's come all the way from near Miami. No, where is it? You come from?
Space Coast in Florida, Central Florida.
Okay, to do a workshop with me. So she's spending a day to do a workshop, but she's spending a couple of days at Herons. So would you like to say something about yourself and how you came to know us?
Oh, well, I'm a cellist, I'm a musician. I'm actually training to be a helicopter pilot, but with such a high adrenaline kind of career choice, I got the opportunity to start working on bonsais. I've always liked them since I was a little girl, but now that I got the opportunity, I just became obsessed. So when I found a really cheap ticket and an opportunity to come here and learn from Peter, I grabbed it.
Okay, but I discovered that you are very, very advanced. You are a smart cookie, as we say, because I only showed you how to do one, and this is what she's made herself. I'll just show you. In 2 hours, she has made all these lovely things. And a large cascade windswept, this is entirely her own design. And a really ragged little cotoneaster seedlings. There were 2 seedlings in one pot, and 2 pieces of wire. 1 piece of wire there and 1 piece of wire there. Little cotoneaster and a very tricky hinoki cypress made into that, and all that within the space of 2 hours this morning. So I would say you're pretty advanced. So
Thank you.
Top marks, and now I'm going to give you a real test. So what I have for you here, I have done one of these on YouTube, but every tree is slightly different. So what we have here is this rather ragged juniper, and don't worry about the brown leaves. This is mainly because it dried out in the summer. So this thing, which is quite massive, we're going to turn it into something very interesting. So we can begin, if you just cut all the brown out, we will take all the brown out. Just by taking that out, it will begin to start looking tidier, and then we will decide what to do with it. I always say to our followers on YouTube that the bonsai journey is a long one, and everyone is on this journey at different stages of it. And the more you do it, the more fun you get. Some people have a natural talent for recognizing the principles, but again, I'm not very obsessed, or what I don't like is the attitude of bonsai police, that you're right and that's wrong. The police will tell you you've not done the right thing, you get the fine. We're not like that. We just do things to enjoy it. But we will follow certain basic principles which are good principles to follow, and that's what gives you the maximum enjoyment. I think I've discovered from talking to you that true enjoyment comes from doing something well, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you agree?
Yes.
If you do it half-heartedly, the enjoyment is not so great. So what is it you learned so far this morning? Not just the technique, is there the way of thinking or anything what has struck you so far?
Well, I tried to keep in mind, I've watched pretty much every video you put out, and one of the things that really sticks with me is that nothing is impossible. You can hand me anything, and I'm gonna go at it with an open mind and excitement, because if not, that's the whole thing, you gotta be passionate about it.
Yeah, so this, you would say, is almost impossible material. Look at it. There's such a mass, but I've not cheated. I've not studied this tree to see what there is. I just know that every piece of material will turn out to be interesting. I wouldn't say it would be a masterpiece, but it would be interesting. And it's really the thought process and the analytical process that goes into creating something which turns out to be nice. So this is not the real bonsai part, but with every process or with every activity, there are always very mundane, boring things. So this is the boring part of it, but from the boring we will get to the more interesting. Okay, if I turn it around, we can both tackle it, keep taking the rubbish out. I wouldn't cut too much of the thick live part. We're just taking out the thin brown parts, just the dried foliage, so that we can see what is underneath that. I'm sure that by feeding it, it will come nicely again. So this is Juniper's Communist Green Carpet. It's a creeping juniper, and like all creeping junipers, they have quite interesting twisted gnarled stems and a trunk. Usually if you came across something like this in a nursery or garden center, you would pass it by. I remember years ago when I started my bonsai journey, this is going back about 30-40 years, many of the nurseries in those days, this sort of thing would be just thrown out. They would throw it into a rubbish skip because no one would want to buy it. And this is the thing that we used to go after. But of course they've got wise, they know that all the bonsai people look for this sort of thing, you know. So it's no longer given away free. So boring bit. As soon as we get to the boring bit, we will make a start. So tell me, where would you start now?
Well, I'm gonna take it out of the pot and
Take it out of the pot, absolutely right.
See what you're
Take it out
doing.
of the pot.
Yeah.
This is a 10-liter pot. There you are, take it out of the pot. And we will tease some of the base out to see what trunk there is. So, have a go. We'll So here we are, we've gone so far, and you begin to see it's almost like these aerial roots that you get in a ficus tree. Look at that, huh? Which makes it both challenging and difficult. There is a trunk there, but these aerial roots complicate the issue. I think we've got to go further down, a little further down to reveal more root. There is more root underneath. See that root coming down? Can you see? So that is what we have found there. So we're going to see if we can make the best use of that. These aerial roots are very, very complicated. We could make another plant from that if we wanted to. So rather than waste, I never like wasting anything. So I've seen here, you can see this separate root coming down. Rather than just waste it, I'm going to just cut it off there. We'll take it out and show you. There you are. Here, so that's a rooted plant, so it's like air laid itself in the soil, and we could make a nice little bonsai out of that. You see, why waste it? So nothing ever wasted, so we keep that going, but it won't be part of this exercise. Many of these aerial roots going down may not play a role in today's work on this tree, So we're only after this main trunk, because that is what is going to generate the interest. I think we need to take away some more soil from this side. See what this ragged plant has to offer. So all these creeping plants, they touch the ground and they self-layer. So this is air layering done naturally. Many plants do this. There's bramble trees, you know, the blackberries. Some of the rhododendrons do this. I've seen them growing wild. So many trees have this natural habit of when they touch the ground, they make new plants. So there's another one which has layered. I know I may not use this. Are you beginning to see something in there, Angelica?
Not yet.
Ah,
A lot of branches and hands in the way.
lots of branches.
That's quite good.
See now, look at the trunk there. We've revealed some trunk by just teasing below. Okay, so you can see the trunk now. I'm a great believer in teasing around the surface of the soil of nursery plants because they are invariably planted deeper than they need to be. So we have now revealed the trunk. If we have a close look, so you can see there's trunk there. Lovely trunk there. In fact, that trunk has got some movement as well. It's going like that and coming back on itself. So tell me, Angelica, what are we going to do with this?
Well, probably make a really nice cascade or
Yeah.
semi-cascade.
Yeah. Okay. So because it's cascading down, it's a natural cascade. So with all cascades, we need a little head. So we won't get rid of these because this will make a nice little tuft at the top, and then some of these branches will come cascading down. So this seems to be a nice natural front, but if we just turn it around to make sure that we're not discounting any other possibilities, but let's work on that. See, that little bit could become a bit of driftwood eventually. So we won't waste that. That could be driftwood. So a lot of driftwood or gin possibilities. Well, I think the natural side looks like this side. Looks like this side. So we prop it up this way. And then the next thing to do is to find one or two stems which will naturally cascade down. And then we'll take it from there. So have a look and see what we're going to take. So these, remember, we're going to use these to make the little top like that. Can you see? If you do that, can you see the effect already?
Yes.
That's going to be the top of the cascade. And then the rest like that. So we will now see which of these live branches. See, there's quite a nice thick one coming down. See, like this one. This is a nice piece to use as the main cascading branch. And they're still live, so that's useful to know. Some of these top ones, again, I won't get rid of it in case I want to make a head with that. This also could make a nice head. I won't get rid of that. This is a bit low. See, this is a bit low there. Although I can use it as a side branch going that way, so I will keep it short like that, going that way. So again, coming back to the main cascading branch, which is this one. Let's clear some of the debris. Many of the branches that have died in here is because it hasn't got much light when it was growing. And in fact, in the wild, I've seen junipers like this growing all over Europe, and you get situations just like this where the inside is dead from lack of light, but the rest of it is fine. There's a lot there that can go up. This probably we may not need. The thing is to decide what to do. So I'm try keeping an eye on this. This is the bit that I want to keep alive. All the rest, if you just hold this up for me, just hold this bit, and I will get rid of some of this, because this is the distraction. This is distracting a lot. These we could use for making gins eventually. And you probably have seen some of my other videos where I expound my approach to working. And I never make a drawing. Some of the people that I used to come across in my early bonsai days, they always insisted on making a drawing of everything. That means you draw the design of the tree you want to achieve and work towards it. That's certainly one very nice way of doing things, but I used to find that that was very restrictive, because if you drew something, you're committed to that, you know, you lose face if you can't achieve it. Whereas if you keep an open mind, and this is where I think if you have a scientific background, or not scientific, just an analytical mind, you will soon realize that if you keep an open mind, that means keeping all your options open. By keeping options open, you will have much more freedom in doing things. Look at that beautiful twist of the trunk there. The more you look, the more you begin to see the possibilities. So all this part that we've got rid of will become driftwood eventually. So don't worry about that. It'll make beautiful driftwood. Huh? All this will be driftwood. All that driftwood. All these will be driftwood pieces. All driftwood pieces. Because we are limited in time, we're not going to spend hours just showing you how to make little bits of driftwood, but you can see what we mean. Okay, so if that is the main branch going down, we might choose another one. We can also go down to that one. But okay, keep that one. This one doesn't need. So even if you want gins, you don't want it too long. Method of elimination. That always works. You know, you eliminate something, then you narrow down the options, so you're getting closer and closer to the solution. Okay, so you're beginning to see the tree, beginning to see it. See, I love that little bit there. In fact, because this is going to be in the way, unfortunately, I'm going to remove this branch. However nice it is, I'm going to remove it. It's a live branch, but it's in the way. It's spoiling that beautiful curve, the kink in that trunk. The trunk goes backwards. Can you see that bit going back? That's a lovely piece there. See, that's going back so nicely there. And this will also become driftwood. See, the roots can also be made into bits of gin, like that. Let's clear some more debris from the back. Let's turn it this way. So all we've done really is clean the debris. We got rid of the debris. How difficult is that? Not difficult at all. Okay, I'm going to hand over to you in a minute.
All right.
I like the attitude. No fear. You're going to be a helicopter pilot? No fear.
You have to have a degree of fear to keep yourself safe.
That's right.
I heard someone say Americans think I can, whereas English think can I.
Too true. Too true. Okay, all yours.
It's going. All
right.
That's fantastic.
I like that attitude. All right. All right. All the wire's yours. All the cutters are yours. I only clean the tree up. So we're going to cross wire the main trunk to make it cascade, and then we have a head. From there, maybe if you put a piece of wire, do these two together and then twist it, these two together. So if you wire these two from there to here, that's too thick. That should be okay. That should be okay. So these two, like so. Go back on this and right down.
Down this one.
Anyone.
Okay.
Yeah, anyone. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. Anyway. Okay, these two. Okay, start. Let's start from it. Nothing like practice. I go to some places, I won't mention names of countries, and where people just like to watch, they don't like to do. And if you just watch and not practice, you don't get anywhere.
There's no fun in watching. That's why I'm here, because I watched for so long. I really wanted to actually try it.
Does it exceed your expectations?
Definitely.
It certainly did me when I came. I first started coming.
You know, a good teacher is a person who can teach the student to become better than the teacher himself or herself. If the teacher cannot do that, then he's not a good teacher.
I agree. I teach cello, and that's exactly how I feel about my students.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, absolutely. A lot of teachers have that ego. It's not good.
All right, these two.
Okay.
Next.
Yeah, absolutely. These two. Perfect.
Little
And then we'll deal
smaller
with the other
one.
ones later on.
Here we go.
Yeah, that's good.
Cello, helicopter pilot, bonsai. That's quite varied, isn't it? That's quite a.
I have a lot of hobbies.
That's good. That's great.
Makes life exciting. Never been good at determining how much wire I need. Kind of eyeball it. like I'm knitting.
Like that. A little nick to initiate the break. That's what we do with gin. Initiate the break and then we take it back. And with the gin pliers, you can then twist it back and rip the wood. Like that. So you're just ripping the wood. I know I'm doing it super quick, but you can take your time and refine it. Refine it by doing that. So all these can be refined. So although this was, see, this is quite interesting gins. Pity you can't take this back home to United States.
No. But I'm happy with the experience and the memories.
Yeah, sure. I think knowledge is more important than the article.
Sorry if I'm standing in your way.
So this tree can be nice both sides, you know, if you refine the gin. So it's one of those rare instances where front and back are both interesting. So even this can be made into gin. I haven't got the time to remove the bark on that. So from the 10-litre pot, we've got it down to 1 litre. We think in terms of 1 litre. So this is what it's going to look like. Go in. Usually with these deep cascade pots, there's no need to tie the tree in. It would be quite okay like that. There you are, you're a member of the Herons team. Presented you with a Herons fleece, and I hope you enjoy your time here. Only one day, but it's short, but next time you can come for a longer spell.
One of the best experiences in my life for sure.
I'm now taking the after shot of the cascade juniper that Angelica did, and what I've modified, I will just show you, because the apex was a bit weak. I've taken another of the side branches and wrapped it round the existing apex and made it a twin. So I've wrapped 2 branches together to give much more body to the top, so that the top doesn't look so weak and flimsy. So this is the finished image of the tree, and I think this is a very credible cascade. And if we compare it with what we started off at the beginning, I think this is a lovely attempt, and it shows that Angelica, who came from Orlando, has the vision to create something nice, and full credit to her. And this is the final view, which I've just slightly modified for this final photograph. So I hope you like this. Thank you. This is just the back view of the tree. And if we turn it round, we can have a nice 360-degree view of the tree from every side. When you think that this has just been wired, and if you give it 1 or 2 more years, it will fill out very nicely, and it will become a very nice cascade bonsai. So there you are. I hope you like this.